We always hear the stories and lore of the vampires in New Orleans from the past. But what about now? Are they still lurking around the corner? This is Hold My Sweet Tea. It's a fantastic Thursday, and I'm Pearl.
And I'm Holly. Are you guys ready to sink your teeth into the next episode? Yes. That was our vampire punnies.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah. We got to make you laugh and be a little scared at the same time.
Like, what is wrong with those girls? Then they're not that funny.
We're chronically tired. It's part of our personality now.
Right. It has become us.
Oh, hey, I'm Holly. I'm tired.
I'm just going to change my name. But next time it'll be like, hi, I'm tired.
And I'm sleepy.
And this is...
I swear I don't snore. I sleep on my side.
I see like Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam.
Yes.
But we're saying good night, podcast listeners.
Yes. So, we have been creatures of the night for a really long time.
Creatures
of the night. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
We partook in some of the vampire culture.
Yeah, running around pretending to smoke clove cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
Literally not supposed to inhale those, so
no.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. And they taste like juicy fruit.
They do. They taste like juicy fruit gum.
Yep.
Yeah, they smell pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
Yeah. It's less offensive.
We dress all in black and smoke clove cigarettes, pretend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hang out at vampire bars in New Orleans.
Yeah. And take pictures in cemeteries.
Oh my gosh, we have so many of those. Well, we had so many of those. We have a few of them now.
I miss my shoes.
You had some awesome shoes.
I did.
You really
did.
Some
great shoes. I graduated in some really great shoes.
You did. They were very high, and I don't see how you walked across that football field with those shoes on.
But I did it. And I didn't fall down.
You didn't. I watched you.
It was very graceful. And now, it's funny because I hardly ever wear anything that's got any sort of heel.
Right.
It's like flats
right.
are life.
You're like, got my Converse on today.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
That's where I live, in those tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Mostly.
So what little vampiric delights are you telling us today?
So we are actually going to use Thursday to talk about some current vampire culture.
Ooh, I like it.
And you would think that, they'd want to keep it on the DL, but not really anymore. I feel like that's been a thing of the past, to just be hush-hush about it.
Right, to hide it and not talk about it. But now it's like...
But now, yeah.
It's out there.
Since about 2022, it became the thing to just let everybody know. It's cool. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually an interview, article, and then an interview that I took most of my stuff from.
Okay.
CNN spoke with two what they call giants in the vampire communities. One is His name is Maven Lore of New Orleans. And he's actually the king of the court of vampires in New Orleans.
Oh.
And another simply named Merticus, who co-founded the Atlanta Vampire Alliance. So, we brought a little Georgia into it today.
Oh, okay.
Those two spoke to CNN, but Maven did a separate interview with a publication in New Orleans called Where Yat.
Like Liz is where you at.
Kind of like Liz is Where
Well,
Yat.
y'all don't know what we're
it's-
talking about,
yeah.
but yeah, it's a restaurant around
It
here.
is. And they have really good, yummy breakfast and
Yeah.
stuff.
They have bananas Foster stuffed French toast.
They have really good breakfast bowls too.
Mhm. Very good.
So yeah, so they shared some insight on today's vampire community. For Maven, it all started with a fang fitting. He was getting his very first pair of fangs when something just kind of changed in him, he says. He told CNN that it was like an awakening, and he feels like that's kind of the best way to describe it when other people come to him interested in joining that community.
Yeah.
They've gone through some sort of awakening. He had moved from New York to New Orleans, and he never left. So he came to visit close to Halloween
Right.
and then never went home.
It sucks you in.
It does. So he actually is now a crafter of bespoke acrylic fangs.
Nice.
And like I said, he says he reluctantly accepted the role of the king of the Big Easy Vampire Court.
Nice. Reluctantly, but he's like,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Fine. Which, I mean, he's considered a peacekeeper, usually if there's someone looking for advice, and they kind of go to him like he's an elder,
Yeah.
whatever. So, yeah. Obviously, this court is about coming up together, sink or swim together. A victory for one is a victory for all type of community. So, very interactive with one another. They are essentially a very large family.
That's cool. I like that.
Obviously, human vampires are not like what we see in Hollywood or on TV. Maven told Where Yat in reference to Hollywood vamps, "It's all BS. I love the show True Blood, but come on. Garlic tastes great on pizza. If you stab anything in the heart with a stake, it'll die. And I'm sure anyone would opt for a king-size bed instead of a coffin."
Yes. But also, a silver bullet's going to kill anybody.
Yeah, same. Like every little thing.
Yeah, all the little
they've got
things.
the little things that kill whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to kill other people too. And something we'll talk about at the end is there were actually vampire hunters in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll circle back to that though. Interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So Maven explained that there are 3 types of modern vampire. The actual blood drinkers, referred to as sanguinarians,
Mhm.
like I said in your episode.
Yes.
Not
Sangria Aryans.
No, not sangria Aryans. They do drink real human blood, but it's not like a lot.
Yeah.
Not like you think. And it all comes from tested donors. It could be a coworker, close friend, or a friend of a friend. However, more often than not, it's like a romantic partner.
Right.
So typically whoever they're with is the one there.
Yeah, because I wouldn't see going to your coworker be like, hey, would you like to go get tested and give me a vial of your blood?
Yeah, and then they come running
And then
around the
HR.
office going, "That's my stapler."
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, sir, but that's an HR violation.
Yeah, no. And bloodletting actually
Mhm.
is illegal in New Orleans. So anybody who does it,
Yeah.
it's very low key. Obviously,
Mhm.
they're not going to bring in a whole bunch of people or run around bleeding random strangers.
Right.
I mean, you don't want to catch diseases either. So there's
Mm.
that. The second type of human vampire would be tantric vampires that derive energy from physical touch like hugs, holding hands, or sexual encounters. This is the category that Maven himself falls into. And I feel like so does Merticus. Like,
Yeah.
they're both in that group.
Mm-hmm.
The third and final type is psychic vampires. These absorb energy from something as simple as a smile from a stranger in the distance. And it's important to say that these all exist everywhere. It's not just in New Orleans. Hundreds of communities exist in the United States, Europe, South America, Canada. It's just really everywhere.
Well, I have met several people who apparently didn't know that they were vampires because they will drain the energy out of you.
Yeah.
And you're like, go away.
Emotional vampire.
Emotional vampires. You're like,
well, I guess that would be part of the psychic vampire group.
Yep. They just don't know that they're part of it.
Yeah. Like somebody forgot to tell you.
Yeah. You're psychotic. No, psychic.
Those words are so close together. Today's vampires are from many different backgrounds, but all share the common goal of just wanting to belong. They have found a community with their fellow vampires, and the lifestyle is a subversive choice, a proud rejection of the social norm.
Yes.
According to a professor of liberal arts in Savannah, John Edgar Browning, it is an empowering way to live. He has studied vampire communities in New Orleans for many years. He says human vampires make accessible the infinite potential that exists for exposing and unfixing the repressive and oppressive categories out of which marginalization is born. So in a way, these vampires are therapeutic for us.
Yeah.
He says that because, like, literally, you think about it, they all just want to get along and be loved. That's a reason to love the vampire community.
Right, which is why they
be a part of it.
Gather together as a community, because not everybody feels that way. So they're like, hey, we're going to form this group and
this is us.
Support each other.
Correct. And they all say it doesn't matter what race, what gender you are, everyone's accepted. And that's like something you don't find in normal, everyday society.
I was going to say that's how it should be.
It should be, but it is not. So Maven and Merticus spoke to CNN about the misconceptions and even the joys about life as a human vampire. Other than the sanguinarians who consume small amounts of human blood, many abstain and even condemn that practice. They find sustenance in sexual encounters and other experiences that they can draw on the energy of. If asked by a stranger if they would drink their blood, Maven has responded, no, that's called murder.
Right. Not gonna do that at all. And some of them do wear the vials of their partners or someone's blood that's near and dear to them around their necks or something like that. And they don't necessarily drink it. They just they keep it close to them.
It's just a source of energy without actually having to consume it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, these vampires are people who often work day jobs. Duh. Because they're still people.
Right.
Maven, like we said, does the fangs. He's a graphic designer, a DJ, and a jeweler.
Nice.
Imagine that. DJ.
DJ Dracula.
I have no idea what his DJ name is, but that's funny.
Cool.
Merticus is an expert in antique furniture.
Nice.
Yeah. They were not drawn to this lifestyle because they had idolized Dracula or anything like that. In Browning's study, he found that they were mostly drawn to each other for the social elements.
Right.
So, again, just
like-minded peers.
Yeah, and wanting to belong. Browning said, I wouldn't even call them vampire fans at all, merely people with a shared history from their adolescence, an innate need for blood or energy, and a shared need to find others like themselves who are accepting.
That's cool, yeah.
Circles back to they just want a place where they're not being judged constantly.
Right.
And all of that. So, and I'm sure they have some mega cool parties.
Oh, yeah. Like really cool stuff.
All that. I mean, because they have the vampire ball in New Orleans.
I would love
and that's not necessarily
go to that.
To do with this specific thing.
It's like the kind of the Anne Rice
thing. Yeah.
And then remember, it was not too long ago, I think I had shared the TikTok with you of the girl who was unknowingly, and then after a while, once she moved to New Orleans from Australia, she was in a vampire cult.
Oh, yeah.
She's on TikTok. Her name is Celeste Moth. It's all one word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was in a decade-long vampire cult, and the leader said that he was the vampire Lestat. And he had all of these people doing crazy stuff, like moving all the way from Australia to New Orleans, which she still lives in today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, her story is like crazy. It's in a lot of parts, but like I listen to it, it's so weird.
Yeah. So run over there and listen.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's not anything like what I'm describing here.
No, but like it's just you're thinking of it and you're like, how does somebody get into a vampire cult? But it was a role playing thing back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They had the whole like role playing book, and
then he just like got totally
power tripping.
Yeah. Like sucked into that world.
And so and it's not like that what you're describing, because they're a community and they support each other.
Yeah, and I don't feel like these are delusional people.
No,
they're just
they're not doing role play things and weird things.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, they must always clarify to those outside this community that they are not like the fictional blood-sucking Hollywood vampires, while also explaining that many human vampires actually try to stay out of the public eye due to these misconceptions. Both Maven and Merticus work to educate young people about modern vampirism and the amalgamation of physical, mental, and spiritual attributes that make up this society. Merticus explained that being a vampire is often associated with the occult, and fictional vampires are known for engaging in human sacrifice, among other grisly acts. The idea that the vampire subculture encourages or even condones such behavior is completely untrue. For another, human vampire communities welcome members of all religious backgrounds, so it's not necessarily occultish.
Not at all.
Both say that they try not to be recognized solely for their identifying as vampires. Merticus says he does not wear fangs or goth clothes, and Maven says his nighttime attire for most of the parties and whatever else could be described as a mix of snazzy suit wear and 80s rock.
Snazzy. I like it. I would still wear my fangs though, because they're really
Yeah,
cool.
they
And
are.
if you use a little bit of denture cream, fix it in, and put them in, they'll stay in
You
really
can
well.
fix it in and forget it.
You can, and you can eat with them in.
Which then everybody's like, why are you eating?
Because I'm hungry.
Right. Because this brownie is delicious.
Right?
Merticus does say that how vampires are seen in Hollywood is starting to change. It is headed in a more multifaceted and positive direction away from the blanch-skinned bloodsuckers.
Yeah.
Both state that vampirism doesn't occupy their entire lives. Both are in committed relationships with non-vampires. Being a vampire is simply one part of who they are and not their only defining quality. That
was cool,
is
though.
where that part ends, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the late 90s, there were some extremely radical, semi-homicidal religious individuals that came to New Orleans with the intent to send the vampires back to where they came from.
Oh, wow.
So crazy. But for instance, Lady Kim, who was part of this vampire court, was literally stabbed in the chest with a stake.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like they
by some guy in a bar.
He's like, vampire. Yeah.
Fortunately, she's well endowed.
Yeah.
And that's what basically saved her life, that she had
he didn't
large
get through,
bust.
Yeah. He didn't get through
He didn't get through all the fat and the boobie. So, yay, boobies.
Yay, boobies. But poor thing. Wow.
Yeah. She also proceeded to beat the guy pretty bad.
Oh, I would have too.
But, yeah, I mean, you just stabbed me in the titty with a stake.
Right.
It's on.
Exactly. You're going down.
I mean, that's just one incident.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many, like, other little things that I saw that I just, like, it was basically the same stuff. Like, these people were literally running around stabbing people with stakes because they presented as a vampire.
And people present as vampires all over New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, everywhere. I mean, there are people, and I feel like the people that are actually part of the lifestyle and stuff, they, like, dress up like that for, like, the balls
Events
and things
and
like
stuff,
that.
yes.
Big events and whatever. But typically, in the everyday stuff, they're, like, in what we're wearing.
Right.
They're not out there dressed in all black, wearing fangs all day long. It's not what they're doing.
But then you're going to confuse, like, somebody who dresses goth as a vampire. That they're not necessarily into vampirism.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. You can't just assume that
everybody that wears black and has
is a vampire. No, it doesn't work that way either. Like, literally. I guess we all need to wear signs. I am not a vampire.
I'm not a vampire. Don't stake me in the boob.
Right. Please don't stab me in my tatas.
Right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Buffy.
So, something else really interesting before we end this episode. The New Orleans court vampires are actually in the beta stages of a national website called the Unity Project. A direct site to help people find communities by region, house, special interest, and they can also find upcoming events. Plus, you can contact the local community in New Orleans. And I'll include the link in the show notes, but it's unityproject.life.
The power of the internet.
Yeah, they say it's in developmental stages, so it's pretty bare.
Right.
But there are good leads on where to find communities, especially in the South. And don't worry, if you're not a vampire, they won't bite unless you ask nicely.
Unless you really, really want them to.
You ask nicely.
Yeah.
Bite me, please. Probably would work out well.
Right. Can you just bite me right here? But
So that is today's
vampires.
They're all nicey nice.
Yeah. But my question is, when you think of vampires and, you think of old country, old, Transylvania, Romania, things like that.
Mhm.
And then it does transpire over to like New Orleans. Have you ever heard of a vampire in like North Dakota or anything like
No,
a
not
Connecticut
really.
vampire?
I mean, even Atlanta makes sense.
Yeah, because it's in the South. But I'm like, so it is a Southern thing, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably southern for the United States,
Yeah.
but like Canada's, like he said, Canada has them.
Mhm.
I see it in,
Yeah.
European countries and
Yeah.
things like that. Like it makes sense over there too.
Sure, but like Fargo.
But like,
Oh, you want me to bite you in the neck, eh? I got to go get your blood tested first. That was my best Fargo accent. I can't do it.
Well, they'd sound a lot like the Canadian ones in
Right?
that case.
They're close.
They're close enough.
Right?
For sure. That's funny. I was just like thinking about the Idahoan potato vampire crew.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, russet or redskin?
Right?
Yellow gold?
We always eat ketchup, or is it, on our French fries?
We're goofy.
Yeah.
But, no, but I really do think it's kind of like, cool that they have a place that's accepting of you no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. So go to their website and join the Unity Project and find like-minded people in your community.
Yeah. And feel like you belong.
Absolutely. I feel like I belong sometimes. Somewhere. I don't know.
You know what? I have spent my life trying to not belong.
Same.
So I mean, in that sense, I'm kind of like,
I'm like, I have to leave my house? Why?
Right. Like, can I join the community of the ones that like stay home?
Right.
And don't talk to each other?
Can we just like FaceTime each other occasionally?
Send each other reels.
Right.
Some text messages.
That's what we do anyway.
That's what we do. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, 6 reels. Let me watch them all.
Exactly. That's what happens. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, ooh, let me watch these 12 things Holly sent me while I was sleeping. Or same for you.
Same for me. Absolutely.
Like our message threads are full of nothing but.
Yeah. And this is Memorial Day weekend that we're getting ready to be on. So we're going to go out on a sandy beaches.
Yeah. We're going to.
Lake day and glitter like the vampires we are because we're both very pale. We stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
So we're going to be sparkling like Edward Cullen out there.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I might put some pre-tan on though, just so I don't look so sparkly.
Not me. Going out there in all my blanche skin glory.
So, by Monday we'll probably be crispy because we burned.
Tell you about how many people went blind from looking in my direction.
You're like, why are these people all laying on the beach? They went blind.
I probably blend in with the sand.
I'm sorry. Did I step on you?
Exactly. I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't see you there.
You're the same color as the sand. Yeah, we're going to go have a little, fun in the sun or slightly out of the sun.
and hang out with.
Yeah, the fam.
Yeah. The adopted fam.
Yep. And our children and,
Well, it's your fam.
Yeah, my fam, but
adopted
Still your
fam for
fam.
me. Yeah.
You've been around long enough. You're your family. You know?
They're like, God dang it, another one.
Yep. I spend more time with you than my own fam.
Right. That's true. Even holidays.
Yep.
We spend
Absolutely.
with each other more often than our own families.
Mhm.
So, yeah. It happens. We live close.
Yep.
It's convenient.
Absolutely. Who wants to, like, I'm not getting on a plane right now.
I don't want to drive to
And I
fight
don't
with
wanna-
my family.
yeah.
I could fight with you.
Right.
For free.
For free.
Oh my goodness.
But we don't. We just sit there and like talk crap about other people that we don't like.
Yeah. Or exchange lyrics and movie
Yes,
quotes all day long.
Absolutely. And it never gets old.
Mm-mm. No. It's crazy.
Yep.
I actually was sitting there trying to think of something that would be cool to zhuzh an introduction one day, and it was like all I could think about was Bring It On. When they were like introducing themselves in the beginning, I was like, maybe we should do that.
Right.
With your hair, you could be like, and I'm
Big red. Exactly. I'm still big red. Yes. My orange hair.
And
I
this is usually why other people like us, even when
Mhm.
we're not together, because we say really ridiculous things.
Yep.
But on the non-ridiculous side, our theme music is by Patty Salzetta.
Yes.
As always, if you have anything you'd like to share with us, please message us on social media, send us an email, steeped@holdmysweettea.com. If you have friends who don't use Spotify or any of the other places that you can listen and they don't feel like downloading any of that stuff, they can always listen on our website,
Yep.
holdmysweettea.com. Doesn't require you to sign in or anything. Just listen right there.
But who doesn't have like Spotify
Yeah.
or Apple Music or Amazon?
Your grandma.
I don't have a grandma living.
Well, their grandma.
Their grandma.
They still want to listen.
Exactly.
I mean, I say their grandma, but then you go my mom, who's nearing 70,
Yeah.
and she's listening
Yep.
on Pandora.
So there you
I'm
go.
pretty
You
sure.
have no excuses. Pearl's mom's listening. And she's so cute. We love her.
Yeah, she is cute. And she loves me.
Mhm.
That's probably why she's listening.
Right.
She's
She's like, "Ah, y'all are ridiculous.
I have to listen to these girls.
She enjoys it. I'm sure she
does.
laughs.
She does giggle. She tells me all the time, funny. I was like, thank you. I was like, for real, or are you just telling me that?
Are you just telling me that because of your daughter?
Right. So see, I shared a link with my mama. You can share a link with yours.
Exactly. But Hold My Sweet Tea is, as always, a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
Y'all stay safe out there. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping.
Sanguinarians.
Bye.
Bye.